I think most of us have been there. The frustrations of renting something. Hidden fees, owners you can't get a hold of, just that general feeling of uncertainty. But what if I told you that those exact problems are actually the secret to building a brand that people really, truly trust? Let's dive in and see how those pain points can be turned into some serious power plays. Okay, so let's kick things off with a pretty big question. Is owning stuff overrated? I mean, for the longest time, ownership was the ultimate goal, right? But something's shifting in our culture. We're starting to care more about access than assets, more about experiences than just possessions. And that little shift, it's fueling a massive change in our economy.
And this really shows that big shift perfectly. We're moving away from a world of permanent ownership to one of temporary access. People are calling it the usership economy. Just think about the fashion industry for a second. Instead of buying a fancy outfit for just one event, you can rent it. And this idea is absolutely exploding across all kinds of sectors. Because, it's smarter, it's more efficient, and a lot of the time, it's way more sustainable.
But here's the catch. Here's the friction point. While the idea of renting pretty much anything is fantastic, has the actual experience of renting kept up? Because for a lot of people, the reality of trying to rent something, whether it's an apartment, a car, or even just a power tool, is, well, it's often a huge pain.
And that brings us right to the heart of the matter, the renter's real-world problems. We're talking about that frustrating gap between the promise of a simple, easy rental and the messy, complicated reality that so often follows that one little click to rent.
I mean, does this sound familiar to you? The price you see is never the price you pay. It has to be one of the biggest complaints out there. You get drawn in by a great-looking price, but by the time you're checking out, a whole bunch of hidden fees and surprise charges have been tacked on. It just feels dishonest, And it kills trust instantly.
And these frustrations aren't just stories we tell our friends. Researchers have actually categorized them into these really clear barriers. You've got financial risk, that's all the hidden fees. Performance risk, when the thing you get just doesn't match the description. A straight-up lack of trust in the company or the owner. And then arrangement risk when the whole process is just inconvenient and clunky. These are the core issues that make people stop and think twice before they click that rent button.
And the impact of this stuff is huge. This quote from a study on fashion renting really hits the nail on the head. Financial risk doesn't just hurt your wallet. It actually has a negative influence on your attitude and even your enjoyment of the whole thing. It turns something that should be fun and easy into something stressful. So the real takeaway here is that these pain points are emotional just as much as they are financial.
So with all of these well-documented, very real problems, the million-dollar question becomes, how do we actually fix this? How do we build a rental experience that people can actually get excited about and, trust?
Well, the answer really lies in smart, intentional design. The best modern platforms out there, they don't just put a nice-looking website on top of a broken system. No way. They meticulously design solutions that take those pain points we just talked about and turn them directly into their best features.
This right here is the blueprint for building trust. Are you worried about hidden fees? The solution is transparent pricing right up front. Concerned about your credit card info? Secure online payments have you covered. Can't ever get a hold of the owner? Boom. In-app communication that's direct and recorded. Not sure if the listing is legit? A robust review system creates accountability. You see, every single feature is specifically designed to neutralize a specific fear. And the philosophy that drives this whole blueprint is something called user-centric design. It's a really simple but incredibly powerful idea. Instead of building what's easiest for the company, you build what's best for the user. You start with their needs, their fears, their frustrations, and you design the entire system around solving those problems for them.
And look, this isn't just some random list of features thrown together. When you see a system diagram like this, you realize it's a fully integrated architecture. Every single part, from the app on your phone to the servers in the back, is engineered to work together perfectly. The goal is to create this seamless environment where trust is literally built right into the technology itself. So after all that hard work, what's the payoff? It's simple, and it's everything. Trust. The future of the entire rental economy, from apartments to cars to evening wear, is going to be built on a foundation of trust. And if you doubt just how important this is, just look at this chart. When researchers study this whole collaborative economy, what's the single biggest slice of the pie they focus on? It's rental, at almost 50%. Getting the rental experience right isn't just some small niche, it's the main event. And the opportunity for companies who finally solve it is absolutely massive. So here's the bottom line. The very best rental platforms aren't just selling you access to a product, they're selling you confidence. They figured out how to transform technology from a simple listing tool into a powerful trust-building engine, and that right there is their real competitive advantage.
All right, let's do a super quick recap of what we've covered. The usership economy is huge, and it's growing, but the experience is often broken. Those frustrations we all feel, like hidden fees, are real, well-documented barriers. The smartest brands are the ones that tackle these problems head-on with user-centric features. And remember, fixing these issues isn't just about good customer service, it's the absolute best way to build brand loyalty and trust that lasts.
So, I'll leave you with this one thought to chew on. If you knew, for a fact, that every single rental experience would be transparent, secure, and totally easy, if you could rent anything with total, absolute confidence, what would you stop owning? The answer to that question really shows the incredible potential that's just waiting to be unlocked. Thanks for tuning in.